Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable's town manager, and I'm here to provide you with this week's community update. Well, we're still in the recovery mode relevant to the COVID-19 situation, and therefore continuing to encourage you all to follow proper protocols, socially distance, staying 6 feet apart, wearing a mask, proper hygiene, taking responsibility, and just continue to be mindful. It's wonderful to visit our fields and our high school and our youth and community center and see our community back out, participating and adhering to those guidelines. So I get to go to a lot of the different events that occur as town manager and a father. And it's just I'm glad to see us getting back to life, even though again it's different than it was 6 or 8 months ago. A couple of items I want to talk with you about today, and then close with a major program that we're moving forward. First, I want to talk to you about the census. We need you to get out there and fill out your census. And the best way to do that is go online, my2020census.gov, and fill out your census information. The reason we need you to do that is broadly your legislative representation, how it's set up is determined through census information. But more specifically, the census information is used when they are determining eligibility or the type of grant funds, not necessarily eligibility, but the amount and type of grant funds that we're eligible for when they begin to look at the demographics of our community. And the census is a big part of compiling that data that's needed. We need you to get out there. We need you to do your census. If we don't, other communities will get resources because we have gaps in that information. So we need you to do that, number one. Number two, I had announced this at our last town council meeting during my town manager communications, but it's about an opportunity for individuals who've been unable to pay their rent or their mortgage due to loss of income related to this coronavirus situation. You may be eligible for emergency rental or mortgage assistance payments through the Workforce Housing Relief Fund. And it's being administered by HAC, Housing Assistance Corporation. The application and additional information about the fund are available on HAC's website. So if you go into their website and take a look, it's HACON or hackoncapecod.org, and you can find the information, or you can call HAC and they can direct you to that. But please, if the current situation has impacted you financially, please take advantage of these programs. That's why they're there. So I encourage all of our residents, if that's your situation, to please think about that. Now, finally, we're going to continue more actively in the public with discussing our comprehensive wastewater management plan. Now, if you remember, a year or so ago, if you read local papers or you listen to Channel 18 or follow town council meetings, we had come out with our wastewater study. If you remember, we were talking over a 30-year, 3 phases, $1 billion capital project. I want to share with you that this is real. And we are moving forward with this. We have been for the last year, but we're to the point now where we're going to begin public discussions over fiscal policy with our town council, That begins in a special town council meeting on October 29th. So I'd encourage you all to watch or read about it after the meeting. I'm going to be before the Board of Health on the 27th, summarizing where we are on our planning aspect of this, and bringing them up to date on, and DPW will be there with me, and bringing them up to date on where we are with the plan and some of the challenges we have, not just with issues of sewer expansion, but with also on-site innovative systems. And if you followed the last 20 years of how this issue has evolved, originally it was focused on-site systems, typically around water bodies, salt or fresh, because of high groundwater, because of small lots, because of proximity to a resource area. And it was really focused on bacteria and viruses. Some of the former regs were really looked at, certain loads within public water supplies, but that was, though important, almost secondary to the first that I've spoken about. And on-site Title V systems help to address certainly the bacteria issue and breakout issues if they're designed properly and sited properly. What's happened over the last really 2 decades, but certainly the last decade, is we've added another layer. We've added a layer of nutrients. We're concerned about nutrients in our freshwater bodies. We're concerned about nutrients in our saltwater bodies. Now, the primary source of nutrients, nitrogen, which impacts saltwater bodies, is urine, human urine. I mean, animals obviously urinate as well, but the specific issue is related to that. So, and how much of it there is, and is it treated? Now, our wastewater treat, to give you a feeling, an on-site Title V system, it's coming out of there at high 30s, 40 parts per million. At our treatment plant, we treat consistently down to about 5 parts per million. And we're actually right now in the process of beginning, and we're going to be asking town council for some additional funds on this in FY22 or by FY22, meaning over the next few months, to go try to get us to even lower, 2 to 3. And why is that important? Because we are the source of the waste that goes to the treatment plant in Hyannis, but actually very few of us actually are connected at this point. So we want to make sure that we reduce the nutrient load, nitrogen load, down as far as we can, because when that gets into our saltwater bodies, it's like a fertilizer. And it's causing problems. We see our bays clogged. We've seen diminishing amount of plant life, and then from that, fish and shellfish life. And it's across the entire south side of Cape Cod, certainly, and some on the north side, but definitely all across the south side. And so we need to move forward with this. We're also seeing problems in our freshwater bodies as well. And a little bit different challenge there. And it's going to be a combination of not just wastewater, but drainage as well, looking at runoff. But we need to go forward with these plans. We had one 10 years ago. We started on it. We didn't continue with it. There was a lot of discussion and apprehension about the cost. Jump ahead a decade, our water quality has deteriorated further. We hear it from our residents constantly. We see it in the sampling we're doing, and the costs have only gone up. So, and now we have a clear another layer over what we were originally looking at a decade ago, relevant to nutrient loading, meaning we have clear regulations and targets that we need to meet. I also think that a decade from now, we will be talking about another layer, which is emerging contaminants. And again, these are products that we buy every day and we use, like Teflon pans, like different things we use to protect our furniture that get sprayed on them. Certainly fire retardant chemicals that they put in children's clothing, just to name a few. We can certainly provide lists of what they are. They're in all of our homes. And when we wash the clothes and it goes down the drain and it ends up in the groundwater and it ends up in our drinking water, that's what these emerging contaminants are. Now, the primary focus so far has been fire foams, but those are point sources, meaning those are identifiable in most cases, and we manage those differently. Just as much concern, but what we're really finding is that widespread, we're all introducing these chemicals into the ground. And so that'll be the next layer we're going to add. And I'm sure 2-3 decades from now, there will be others. Point is, we need to move on this now. There was nothing that we would have done a decade ago that would have been different or detrimental to our efforts that we're going to go forward now. I encourage every single person in our community to take the time to understand this, to take the time to participate in it. And I'm going to our youth. I'm telling you right now, I'm going out there, I'm engaging our youth. This is their future. Water on Cape Cod is why we're all here. This is our youth's future. And if we don't address it now, we're just kicking the can down the road for them to have to begin this effort. And we don't want that. We want to start dealing with it now. We want to put the proper infrastructure. We want to consider the appropriate sort of regulation so that we can continue to have the quality of life we all want here on Cape Cod. So please engage, participate, ask questions. The one thing I would ask you not to do is run with information that you didn't verify yourself. I know you're all responsible adults, and youth for that matter. But just because somebody posted on a website or on social media or puts it in an editorial, I would just ask in every case for you to take the time to verify it. And some of it is absolutely accurate, and some of it is not. And so please, as responsible adults, I think it's our responsibility to step back, to look at what's being said, to understand the issues, especially these types of issues, and then formulate our own opinion, and then participate, engage, make sure that your community does the things that protect that quality of life, which is at the core of why we all live here. So thank you for listening. Please participate. Watch on the 27th and the 29th, or you can certainly follow up afterwards and watch what occurred or read about it. If you need to and you can't get to that, just email me and I'll make sure you get information on this. And no, I'm going to be reaching out to our youth beginning very soon and engaging them as a very active part of this effort regarding their futures. So thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you again.